Hi, I'm Tom Richardson for Boating Local, and I'm here at North Atlantic Marine Services in Wareham, Massachusetts. I'm with John Bernier, and if you want to get John animated, start talking to him about fuel issues, because he encounters some real nightmares in his line of work, starting with this particular example. John, why don't you tell us what this fine specimen is?
What we have here, Tom, is we have water mixing with the fuel. This came out of a customer's boat, and at this particular stage, the customer did not have a problem. But as you can see, we have the ratio of about 50-50 water to gasoline trapped in the fuel filter, and he was definitely on his way to having some major performance issues.
So you're saying if he hadn't checked this level of water would have worked itself up, filled up the filter, and at that point it goes through the system.
That is correct.
That's not a good thing.
Not a good thing.
Well, just another. So it's an example of how often you should really check your fuel filter, fuel water separator during the season. How often do you recommend doing that, John?
We recommend doing that at least twice a season. You know, it absolutely should be done in the fall. You know, when your engine is winterized. That's where we do an inspection of your fuel. But also periodically through the season. If you do find you have water, you should be checking it more often.
Yeah, right, exactly. Now, a lot of people think that they can solve the problem by simply adding fresh fuel to their tank. They think, oh, just, I got a 100-gallon tank, 50 gallons is bad, I'll add another 50 of fresh fuel and I'm on my way, everything's good, but ain't the case, right?
We have found time and time again, what you're basically doing is making 100 gallons of bad fuel, not the 50 gallons you started with.
Right, and so what should you do with that bad fuel? What's the, you get rid of it, obviously, right?
It has to be disposed of properly. The tank has to be pumped out if it gets to a stage where it has really separated. At other times, if we do filter maintenance and we check it, more often, we possibly could, in fact, salvage the gas in the tank. But that's something for your technician to determine. Right.
Fuel water separators are easy to install, and the filters are a snap to change. Some even feature a fitting on the bottom to drain off any water or contaminants.
Exactly. This is a great filter. This is made by Raycor, which is a fabulous, manufacturer of filters. With the bowl on the bottom, you can in fact see, the condition of the fuel. You can see if there's water in it. One thing I do want to recommend, or do want to put across to you, is that there are certifications for this type of filter. For example, if this filter is below deck, in other words, you cannot see it from the helm, it must have a metallic bowl on it. This metallic bowl will turn this filter into an ABYC, which is American Boat and Yachting Council, compliant filter. This plastic bowl will not pass the 3-minute burn-through time rate, that all components below deck are required to have. We see a lot of these plastic bowls because it is in fact convenient.
Sure, you can see it, you
can turn it, you can put the drain hose on it. Unfortunately, it's also very dangerous. This is the style that has to be screwed on. So there are replacements out there. One thing to check.
And this is more of a simple version of a fuel water separator. I have one of these on my boat.
That is correct.
And that's fine, but you can't see what's going on unless you pour out the fuel, right?
Yes. Correct, Tom. And this is, what they call the large capacity filter, which has, making its way to the marketplace, mainly because we have so many problems with our fuel of today. You can buy a short filter, which sometimes, that's the only size filter which will fit in your particular application. But whenever possible, if you can get the big filter, get the big filter.
That's right. It gives you the extra margin of safety.
Absolutely. And there again, if we check this, it's going to take much longer for this one to fill up with water, which is doing its job, than it will a smaller filter, as you can well imagine. So
John, when you remove one of these fuel water separator filters, what do you guys do with the fuel? Do you just dump it out and dispose of it? What's the step? What do you guys go through?
What we do, Tom, is we pour each and every filter into a container. What that is, that traps a lot of our information.
So you can see this sort of thing going on if that's the problem.
Exactly, and that tells us the health of our fuel, the condition of our fuel. Whether we have water, whether we have rust, whether we have rubber components starting to delaminate or deteriorate, we can trap them all in the filter itself. So there's an awful lot of information.
Right.
So each time you unscrew this, it should be poured into a clear container, so we can do that inspection. And then, of course, we have to dispose of it properly once we're finished.
If someone saw this type of separation going on with all this stuff happening, what would you recommend? What's the next step?
That should come to the shop.
Okay.
Dealing with gasoline, is very dangerous. So it's not something that if you're not educated or trained to handle this type of gasoline, it should go to your local technician.
Great. Well, thanks a lot, John. Lots of good advice from John Bernier and the folks at North Atlantic Marine Services. Heed their advice and avoid those costly fuel issues. I'm Tom Richardson for Boating Local. Thanks for watching.